When you get labeled a title, right? Like loser, insecure, uh, a weirdo, he's too out there. That can kind of hurt someone. That can hurt someone's feelings and make them feel a certain way about themselves, an insecurity about themselves when you get titled something by people in social circles. You start to feel bad for yourself. You start to feel like you don't have really any worth of being accepted. But you have to be okay with not being accepted. You have to be okay with being labeled a loser or a misfit. They call you a loser for things that you're doing that isn't superficial. They're calling you a loser because you choose to have your own personality rather than just fit in with other people and fill in the blanks. Be another face in the crowd. You instead are always yourself, and you can look deep into yourself and you can think for yourself and don't need other influences around you like other people do, especially on social media, especially on the internet. Because that's how society's been ran for the past 10 years now. And a lot of people want to do the exact same thing as the next person, and the next person want to do the exact same thing as the very next person. And it's a never-ending cycle, like a Ouroboros, a constant loop that never really ends, really. And it don't really seem like it's gonna be an end in sight anytime soon. But if you feel don't like let them get inside, your mind and your spirit and make you feel less than yourself. You gotta, if you have qualities, that attributes that make you who you are, then it's best to stick with them. Just like me, I stuck with everything that I used to think was an insecurity. I took all the dark aspects that I thought of myself as, and I embraced it. But you can't let it consume you at the same time. But at the same time, you have to have like a tight knit grip on it, like a tight control. You can't let nobody pin you down just because they call you like a name, a word that's just a word, just consistent of letters. It's not about the word itself, it's about the significance of the meaning of that word, the symbolism. How does it affect you? Uh how does it affect you emotionally? If does it make you, do you accept that? Do you figuratively accept that, or you block it out of your face, you brush the dirt off your shoulder? That's the question. So if I'm a loser for not going to a certain place or dressing a certain way, or I'm a weirdo for liking what I like despite, my skin color being black. Despite that, I like things like, I don't know. I mean, everybody likes anime now, but a couple years ago, you know, you were kind of like laughed off and pushed to the side. But that was before, when I wanted to fit in with the circle, be in the side of the circle. I felt like a square and I wanted to be a circle. I wanted to be in the circle. But obviously, look at me now. I have so much self-awareness, and self-awareness is key. That's really what's important at the end of the day. Being able to think for yourself and look through everything. The phrase I like to use most is see through the bullshit. You know, see through all of the BS, all these like walls that people put up, because that's all they are, brick walls, hiding their own insecurities and the fact that they are actually a loser. So the only way for themselves to feel better about themselves, or more important, is by jumping into whatever trends, or jumping into other people's skin, or wearing other people's clothes, or talking other people's slang or words. And you don't have to do that. That's not really necessary. What I do, I listen to things, I watch videos, I take information, but I don't just, blindly follow it like a loyal dog. You know, I evaluate what I need to hear, I separate what I need to take out, and I apply that into my mind, my mindset, and I go about my day, and I apply that to wherever I need to apply it at. I store it in the back of my mind, and I use it for whatever I need to use it for. And that's what you got to do too. You got to have like compartment spaces inside of your mind of information, because you don't need to just blindly follow like a speech, or no one's really important. No matter how many followers they have or how much influence they have, they only have that influence through manipulation. And that's really the truth of the matter. Truth of the matter is manipulation, emotional motivation. It's just easily manipulation. I mean, Apple, for example, this is how they became the conglomerate, the $1 trillion conglomerate that they became. Not just because of selling products, but putting the emotion into it, making people feel like, you know, they belong, that they're cool because they're involved in something like a secret circle, like a social club or a social event that only has VIP access to those who use Apple, and they feel better about themselves because of a phone. Yes, Apple has cool things that separates it from other phones. Even though I feel like at this point now, other phone brands are starting to catch up, especially Samsung, which is what I have now. And I'm not ashamed of that either. I don't care, because a phone is a phone. A phone doesn't make a person, and a person doesn't make a phone. A phone is just a tool. It's just a device that we use for communication, for entertainment, for looking stuff up, whatever. But it doesn't define me as a person, you know. So when people call me a lame or corny or pathetic because I have a Android, yeah, like a Samsung, I just be like, I mean, no one ever done that to me yet, but you get that feeling. You start seeing everyone with an iPhone, especially when you used to go to school or you're around a lot of people. You see people with iPhones, and you feel like the odd one's out. If you're feeling that way because of a phone device, then you need to reevaluate everything, man. And that's what I did. I was like, I don't need an Apple. I don't need an iPhone. If I get an iPhone, I'm just gonna use it like any other phone. It doesn't make me special. I don't care if I have green text message bubbles against the blue text message bubble. There is no good guy and bad guy. There is no right and wrong. There is no good and evil. It's just positioning. It's what people like and what they don't like that defines what defines right and wrong. That's what that is. It's simple as that. That's all it is. So if you're a loser, you could take that word. If you hear the word loser being bestowed upon you, you can redefine that word. Actually, I mean, remember the Losers Club from It? They were treated like losers in the town started with a D. I forgot the name, but they were treated like losers in their town, and they were the outsiders, the misfits. They stood out. They all had traits that they felt hung over them, and it took beating it and conquering their fears and their insecurities and their flaws in order to win in life and save the day, and avenge the deaths of the other kids. But you could take these words and do a switch around and do a flip, and then just like that, it lost its original meaning, and then you can go and redefine that and make your own meaning for it and make your own symbolism. For example, take a pentagram. People, when you see pentagrams, I do this too, we associate it with straight up evil. But when you actually look at it and evaluate it, all it is just a circle with a star in it. It's man-made. That's all it is, just like the cross. The cross is a torture device. But what do people see it as? A symbol of like redemption, blessing, saved us, being saved, faith. But it was a torture device. And a man hung on there, a dead body hung on there for like 3 straight days. And people see that as a positive thing. So if they see that as a positive thing, I can see the devil, for example, as being a rebel, being rebellious, going against the grain or the institution. Similar to something like One Piece, where the gods are the ones that's the devils, and the devils are the ones that not are the gods, but they're the people that people look up to in hopes of a savior. Ironically enough, the roles are switched. It doesn't matter. Those are labels. Labels are labels. Systems are systems. But you can't let that define you at the end of the day. So when someone calls you a name that on the surface is seen as derogatory, just embrace it like a tattoo. Because all it is just a word. And that's how I see things now. That's how I see humans. Even though humans do get on my nerves, humans are just humans. We're animals. We really don't have that significance besides consciousness, critical thinking, and intelligence. But even then, we still make dumb human mistakes. Humans are still human. Fortunately and unfortunately, positive and negative. It makes no difference.